Breaking news: a major High Court ruling has just shaken up the system, and it could mean £900 in back payments for thousands of pensioners. That's right. Imagine discovering that the government actually owes you hundreds of pounds due to an error you had no idea even existed. For tens of thousands of pensioners across the country, that's not a fantasy. It's now becoming a reality. This landmark legal decision has forced the Department for Work and Pensions, or DWP, to take accountability for a series of long-standing calculation errors and to pay back money that should have been in people's pockets years ago. So, what exactly happened? Why is the DWP now required to make these back payments? And more importantly, could you or someone you love be entitled to this unexpected windfall? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know who qualifies, how to check if you're affected, and what steps to take next. You won't want to miss this, especially if you or your loved ones rely on the state pension. The case that sparked this decision revealed widespread flaws in how certain pensions have been calculated and paid out, flaws that have been quietly draining the income of pensioners for years. The High Court reviewed how the DWP handled national insurance contributions and pension operations, two core elements of how pensions are calculated. What they found was troubling: systemic missteps in how people's working histories and inflation-based increases were applied. In short, the DWP had been underpaying many people, some for years on end. The court wasn't shy in its verdict. These weren't rare one-off miscalculations. They were structural failures. The errors primarily affected people who had non-linear working lives, such as women who took time out for caregiving, part-time workers, or those with irregular employment records. These individuals often had national insurance gaps that were either not properly counted or unfairly penalized. The rules meant to protect them were misapplied, leading to drastically reduced pensions. The worst part? Many had no idea. And it gets even more serious. In many cases, annual increases meant to keep pensions in line with inflation weren't applied correctly. Over the years, those small errors snowballed into major underpayments, reaching up to £900 per person on average. The DWP argued that backdating payments would be a logistical nightmare and too expensive. But the court disagreed. They ruled that pensioners should not suffer because of administrative shortcomings. The government's inconvenience doesn't outweigh the financial harm done to those who depend on these payments to live. The groups most likely affected include three key categories. First, those who reached state pension age before April 2016, especially women who had breaks in their careers for childcare or family duties. Second, individuals with contracted-out employment, where pensions were handled differently and often incorrectly. Third, those who delayed taking their pension expecting higher payments later, only to find those increases weren't properly applied. If you or a loved one falls into one of these groups, it's crucial to check. How widespread is this issue? Experts believe as many as 130,000 pensioners could be eligible for compensation, with the total cost to the government exceeding £100 million. But this isn't just about money. It's about justice. Many of those affected are among the most financially vulnerable: elderly women, low-income retirees, and those without private pensions to cushion the blow. A back payment of £900 isn't just a number. It could cover several months' worth of heating bills, essential groceries, or long-needed home repairs. For some, it could be the difference between struggling and surviving. What's most inspiring about this story is how it all began. A few individuals noticed discrepancies in their pension payments. Instead of brushing it off, they sought legal advice. Their voices were small, but together they launched a case that ended up changing the system for thousands. This isn't just a win for them. It's a win for transparency, fairness, and every pensioner who's ever been told, that's just how the system works. Now, let's talk about what this means going forward. This ruling doesn't just correct the past. It sets a precedent that will impact how similar cases are handled in the future. The message is clear. Government departments can no longer use administrative complexity as an excuse to avoid correcting their mistakes. Accuracy isn't optional when people's livelihoods are on the line. It also raises bigger questions. Should pensioners receive interest on the money they were denied for so long? After all, had they been paid correctly in the first place, they might have been able to earn on those funds or avoid debt altogether. While the court didn't address that issue in detail, it's a conversation that's gaining momentum among advocacy groups. If you support a parent or grandparent with their finances, or if you're planning for retirement yourself, this should be a wake-up call. Don't assume that your pension is being calculated correctly. The system is notoriously complicated, filled with evolving rules, unclear exceptions, and overlapping criteria. Even experts struggle with it. Regularly reviewing your pension statements, especially for discrepancies in national insurance records or inflation-based increases, could save you or your loved ones hundreds, even thousands over time. There's also a deeper emotional toll to consider. For many affected pensioners, this wasn't just a financial shortfall, it felt like a betrayal. People who worked hard, paid in diligently, and trusted the system were shortchanged, often during the most financially vulnerable years of their lives. Think of the impact, not just on budgets, but on dignity, peace of mind, and quality of life. This ruling may correct the numbers, but for some, it's also a symbolic step toward long overdue recognition. So what can you do right now? First, check your state pension forecast on the official government website. Review your national insurance record and look out for gaps or errors, especially if you had time out of the workforce for caregiving, illness, or part-time work. If anything looks off, don't wait. Contact the Pension Service for a full assessment. There are also pension advisory services and independent organizations that can help you dig deeper if needed. And if you're still unsure, reach out. There's no shame in asking questions when your future income is on the line. The people who won this court case started with questions, and they ended up changing the system. To wrap up, this court ruling is more than just a financial correction. It's a powerful reminder that accountability matters, and that pensioners, many of whom have spent decades contributing to society, deserve better. They deserve accuracy, they deserve respect, and they absolutely deserve every penny owed to them. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from this information. There's a good chance you know someone affected, even if they haven't realized it yet. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more essential updates like this. We cover all the financial and pension-related news you need to know, in language that's easy to understand and act on. Thanks for watching, and remember, this isn't just news. It's your money, your rights, and your future. Don't let it slip through the cracks. Stay informed, stay empowered, and I'll see you in the next video.